Have you guys ruled anybody out for Sunday's game?
Let me see here. Can you give me the names?
Sure. I'll start with the four guys who did not practice limited yesterday. Dodson.
He's going to try a little bit today, and we'll have a better feel of that after today's practice.
And Jeudy and Joe Jones.
I don't think Joe will make it. I'm pretty confident Jerry will.
Jake Rogers.
Jake won't practice today, but he's making progress, and that will be a game day decision with him also.
And with Glasgow practicing for a couple of days, do you think he's set up to play the whole way?
I do. I think he'll be fine.
And then last thing for me, Ed Donatel expected to miss another game this week. Have you talked to Ed, and how's he coming along and expected back?
Yeah, I've talked to Ed extensively, a couple times a day at least, and he's getting better. Okay, he's going through the protocols. He's in our thoughts here all the time. I particularly probably miss him more than anybody because, Ed and I have been together for 10 years, kind of been joined at the hip there, and I miss his, friendship. I miss just having him around. Him and I know he knows how I think. I know how he thinks. And, it's been tough not having him here. Obviously, as a coach, we miss his coaching ability. But I miss him personally more than anything else.
Thanks.
Next one, Jeff Legel.
Vic, given the injuries at tackle, are you just kind of forced to work Calvin Anderson in some today at practice and tomorrow, or how are you approaching right tackle?
Yeah, he's been getting work there all week.
And then when you talk about Ed personally, have any of the other coaches come to you and just talked about? Do you guys talk about how odd and strange this season has been for you on sort of a human level as opposed to football?
Yeah, obviously sometimes we do. It is, it's a tough virus. It's hit us a little bit, it's hit Ed a little harder. He's had to stay out more than the other guys that we've had. But I'm confident Ed will get through this, and we'll see him back here at some time here shortly.
Next one, Mike Kliss.
I think your second year with the Broncos-Raiders rivalry, do you think moving to Vegas, the Raiders going from kind of a dump in Oakland and the black hole into this Taj Mahal and City of the Lights with Vegas is going to take away from the rivalry a little bit?
I don't think so. Many of the people that I've met out in the community in my short stay here always, invariably sometimes get to talking about the rivalry versus the Raiders. And, if you have a rivalry, it doesn't matter where you're playing. You can be playing on a sandlot field. It's still a rivalry.
Next one, Zach Stevens.
Hey, Coach, last week Bryce Callahan didn't take to the treatment very well. Has he taken better this week, and is there any concerns about him being able to play this week?
No, I believe Bryce will be able to play this week.
Next one, Kyle Newman.
Hey, Coach, KJ Hamler, what have you liked about his progression alongside Jeudy? And do you think those two are kind of progressing, leaning on each other, I guess, to progress and settle into the NFL?
I think so. I think they're both at different stages. KJ's missed a lot of time, counting time he missed in training camp, then he missed time during the regular season. So he's a little bit farther behind in his development and his production because of that. But we do like both of those guys. I think they're both coming into their own. They're at different stages, like I said, because of KJ's absences. But I think they're both really good players, and I think they have great futures here as Broncos.
Next one, Andrew Mason. Time for a few more after Andrew.
Vic, what have you seen from Calvin Anderson in terms of his practice field development from the time you guys picked him up last year to where he is today?
Yeah, I think he's developed well. I like what I see in him. I know our defensive players respect him and his ability. I think Mike and Coop have done a good job bringing him along. And if he has to play on Sunday, I'm kind of anxious to see him play, and I think he'll play well.
Final two, Jeff, then Troy and Brandon.
Vic, in a normal year, we'd probably just take care of something like this, asking around in the locker room. But Brandon McManus on social media yesterday kind of challenged Tom's assertion that he did not have a good warm-up in Atlanta. And I know that kick is 6 days ago or whatever, but he sort of ended it with, don't silence the players. Do you have any idea what he might have meant by that?
No, I haven't heard anything about it. Brandon hadn't said anything to me about it. And he usually will say something to me if he's got something on his mind.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know it's a few days ago, but he basically said he thought he warmed up well and he thought he could have made the kick.
Okay.
Next one, Troy Ray.
We asked you about the performances of Callahan and Simmons, but Pro Football Focus made Garett Bolles the first team. They're all pro selection at the midpoint. Coach, you had belief in this offseason. What have you seen from his play now over the first half of the season that gives you belief like this has roots, that this isn't just a guy with a good stretch, that something's clearly clicked with he and Coach Munchak?
Yeah, I think he's validated the beliefs that I had in the offseason and indicated to you guys the various times I talked to you. I've had belief in him from the start, although obviously he's had some rocky times. I just think he's one of those guys that needs more time to develop. And as coaches, we have to recognize that, fight through the tough times, keep him in there, keep him learning, keep him battling, because the only way you get better is to play. And I'm happy for him that he's validated that faith that I and we have had in him, and hope he continues his good play.
Final one, Brandon Cristola.
Coach, I know you don't pay attention to much outside of your opponent in season, but I know what a big golfer and sports fan you are. So have you had the Masters on early? Have you been keeping at least an eye on it a little bit?
No, the only bit I saw of it yesterday was when I go home late at night. I usually turn the TV on, and usually I either watch the Golf Channel or maybe Friends rerun on Nickelodeon. And so I tuned into the Golf Channel last night and caught a couple of the highlights. Some pretty good golf there yesterday. I guess that course was a little soft, and those guys took advantage of it.
It's soft today. Dustin Johnson's at 8 under and a bunch are at 7 under. So it's
Is that right?
Wet and soft, yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll catch a little bit tonight on the highlights.